in. We see you all coming in. Welcome. All right. All right, so let's get going. So right now, 1 in 5 Americans is over the age of 65. Can you believe that number? And when you actually add in all of the adult children and family members, helping them navigate what comes next, you are looking at over a third of your database is actually going through a major life transition. So, or at least someone they know in their life is going to be doing that. And almost no agent is actually showing up with a plan to actually address that. So today, we're going to unpack exactly how one agent built a $1 billion practice by being that agent. And I'm going to show you the marketing plan that lets you execute this in your business starting this week. So welcome to the Marketing Power Hour. I'm Selena Isaac, CEO of Agent Moves. I'm also the community leader for the KW High Impact Marketing Community. I spent over 25 years in digital marketing. I built a top 10 ad agency. I worked with brands like BMW, Four Seasons, Apple, and I came out of retirement actually when AI made it possible to bring that same level of strategy to real estate agents and local entrepreneurs. So every single month on this show, I actually sit down with a top producing agent who has been featured on the MREA podcast. And we do something a little bit different. We don't just rehash that podcast, we actually unpack the marketing engine behind the growth model that Jason Abrams and the guests spoke about. So here's the thing, most agents actually get wrong about marketing. Marketing isn't about posting on social media, it's not about hoping someone calls you. Marketing is how people actually find you, trust you, and choose you before they even pick up the phone. So it's actually a system about making sure that the right people know who you are, what you stand for, and why you do what you do. All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about, the systems behind the marketing. And that leads me to our guest, Dan Ihara. So he's been 20 years in the business, more than 1,500 transactions. Dan, amazing, over $1 billion in volume in Hawaii. And he has built a massive practice helping seniors, investors, and families navigate one of the most emotional and complex transactions in real estate. Dan, welcome to our Power Hour.
Thank you. Good to see you, Selena.
Yeah. So before we just get into your model, because everyone knows I like to just jump right into the tactics, but I want to just start out by asking you one question that I ask every single one of my guests to kick us off. And that question is, if you had to start over tomorrow with just your database and no brand, what would be the first thing that you'd do?
I contact them all by phone and ask them a simple question. Do you have a real estate plan?
That's it's a perfect segue. Perfect segue to our next question. So let's give the members just 60 seconds version of who you are, your market, and what your business looks like today.
Okay. Well, I'm a realtor just like many of you. We have a large business in Hawaii. I'm kind of phasing myself out of production. I'm probably in maybe 15 to 20% of my time is in production now. My son and my sons, two sons, and a couple of team members are going to be taking over our business. We serve a lot of wealthy older adults because that's been our focus and target market. And we provided that information through education, right? We do seminars every month. There were points where I did 3 a week, down to 2 a week, down to one a week, and now we do just a couple a month. We do them at retirement communities which we're actually going to do one tomorrow. If you guys were here, you could come and see it, but it's sold out. There's 42 people out of 35 seats. So it's in a new retirement community. They called me and asked me, could you bring your seminar to us? The reason why they did that is because I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm known in the industry, in the gerontological industry, the long-term care industry, that we provide information and solutions for folks leaving their home to move into a retirement community. Right? So that's part of our business. The other part of our business is the investment side of it, which is very interesting because it wasn't about 10 years ago that I realized that these same clients that I'm helping move from their home to a retirement community actually had investment properties. They had more than one property. And that opened a whole can of opportunity for us to help them build wealth, protect that wealth, and then pass it on. And so when people ask me, what's a real estate plan? That's exactly what it is. How do we build wealth, protect wealth, and pass it on? And who do you know I should talk to?
That's amazing. That's amazing. Let's talk. So that just jumps us right into your growth model. So when you were on the MREA podcast with Jason Abrams, you talked about this model that you use to grow your business in this particular niche. And I'm going to actually pull that model up on the screen here so everyone can look at it. And if you could give us the 60-second version of what that was in case some of them missed it. It starts with, there's 4 steps in it, and it starts with learning everything that you can about the senior housing market. If you could start us there and just walk us through
Yeah.
really quickly what the model looks like.
So if you're looking at helping somebody relocate from their home to somewhere else, you need to know where that is. See, they're not going to sell their home unless they know or are comfortable or confident where they're going to go, right? They're just not going to move. And so,
Yep.
especially an older adult from 60 to 90 years old, a large portion of our demographics, probably I would say 75 to 85, if you were to look at it. So they're very reserved, very, very cautious. They've been living in their home a long time. But the reason why we are able to help them is we help them understand or visualize or recognize that they will or have problems at some point in time. And so the first step is understanding where they could go, right? Retirement community. So that's what I did. I looked at every single retirement community in my market. I went to go visit them all. And in our community, for those of you who are in our community, make sure you watch that segment where we talk about the conversation to book the appointment, to get there, the conversation when you're actually at the site, on site. We call it a site visit. And the questions to ask and the form to fill out so that you have a library of information, something that's super valuable because I became the placement company of in our market. And in most markets, there is no placement company other than what's online. There's a couple of like a place for mom, and there's these other online sites, but those have an economic model that only shows them the ones that they make money on. I'm going to show them all of the options, not just the ones, because I don't make money on this, right? That's not the goal. The goal is to help them find a solution. So that's step number one, understanding what the options are. And
And
step number two,
how should an agent know if this is the right niche for them? Is there, like, how do they know? Is there enough seniors in our market? Is that even an issue? Because there's always enough in every market. How do they decide?
yeah, I would say pretty much every market in America has older adults, right? Because if they got younger adults, where'd they come from, right? But somebody once said to me, "Hey, you don't understand our market. We have a lot of young folks," and I'm just curious. I wonder if they have parents, right? And so consider that, right? So it's pretty much all over the country. We're going to see this challenge because this baby boomer generation. Keep in mind, 2.1 million older adults this year will die with real estate. 2.1 million, right? And so know that we're going to try to get to them before that situation, before they start to age in an environment where they need to be. And so that's understanding the options. And then what we did is we went to those options and asked them, hey, would it be valuable to you if we brought people to you? Well, the answer I know is yes, because that's what they want. They want to increase their occupancy. And so they use me as a way to bring people to them because I'm going to provide information that's um, retirement community agnostic, meaning it's not just one, it's all options, right? So I'm not like a salesperson for that one community. I'm only going to sell that. Yes, I'm going to tilt things towards that because that's the people that are supporting me. Although I'm going to share everything from aging in place to to retirement communities to care homes and such, right? And so I
Makes
do
sense.
this in a form of an educational seminar, and that's why people want to come. We've been calling it senior living options for this for like 20 something years, Selena. We've been doing the same darn thing, and people still show up.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're in a different phase of life. And by the way, they just want to know what their options are, right? And that's what it is. So it's they come not feeling like they're sold to, they come understanding that they're getting information. But during this seminar, the reason why we get 20 to 50% conversion ratio from the number of groups that show up to the number of appointments we get, is because we shine a spotlight on problems that they didn't recognize or see, right? Think of it this way: if you can in a seminar get their brain to notice something new that they didn't recognize, then their RAS will be focused on that, and they'll be focused on how do I get past that? How do I get,
Yep.
what's the solution? And what we did is we provided solutions to those problems, and we made it easy from going from here to there. And that's the biggest thing. So the seminars really helped them feel comfortable and confident that they could make the move. Prior to them showing up, they said, there's no way I can move, right? What do I do with my stuff? Where do I go? How much does it cost? What does life look like? Who can help me? What we do is we understand their questions and we solve them. We solve those problems. Right? Their biggest challenge is, where do I go? And the second biggest challenge is, what do I do with my stuff? Because older adults, they got a lot of stuff. And they've been on the planet longer than most of us, and they've collected a lot of things. So that's the seminar and the educational portion of it. Right? Are you frozen, Selena? I think. Or am I frozen? Oh, there you go. So how do we get them there?
Step 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
So how do we get them there? Well, we use our database. So one of the things that I learned when I came to Keller Williams, Gary Keller said, feed the database and touch it regularly. So I took that to heart. When I came to KW, I had a database of about 3,200. Now we have about 80,000 because we got intentional. Every day we're building that database because that's your data bank, right? That's your net worth is going to come out of your data bank. Right? And so what we did is we figured, well, the easiest thing to do, the less expensive way to do is just to send them an email. And so we do. We send them an email, we invite them. But the way we do it is by asking them questions. Right? Is your home too big now that the kids are gone? Are you looking for other options? Where would you go if you can't stay home? Right? Those kind of questions lead them to think, maybe I should go find the answer. And that's what leads them to these seminars. So we built our business in the question-based approach to real estate. Right? We built it based on asking a question we know that they're going to ask themselves, but we ask it, they go, that is me, and I need to find out. Right? And so that's what made it easier for us to fill these seminars over the last 20 years, the database.
And then from the seminar, you're booking them into a listing appointment. How are you doing that? What's the offer you're making to them?
We got really good at this over the years because I've done over 1,500 seminars, right? So time on task will help you. I promise you. And I wasn't as good in the beginning as I am today. But in our seminars today, in the hour and a half, I'm going to do 5 trial closes, 4 to 5 trial closes during that time. Before I even go on stage, there's somebody that's going to introduce me, and they're going to say something like this. Say, today you're going to get a lot of information. So much information your brain actually might hurt. We apologize for that. But what you're going to find is you're going to be overwhelmed. The good news for you today is at the end of today, you'll have an opportunity to book a private appointment, to have a conversation around that. So we say that same thing in different ways 3 to 5 times. So at the end, they say, okay, now's your time to book your appointment. So I have 3 people with clipboards. I already know the times that I am available. They're walking in and say, which time would you like? So it's an assumptive close, right? I'm not asking, could we please meet? No, I'm not doing that. I just say, I know you need help. So which day and time works best for you? Do you have your calendar with you? Right. And that model has helped us book appointments at a very high percentage, which has really helped us build a pipeline of 1 to 3 appointments every day.
Yeah. And then if they don't convert in the room at that seminar, you add them to your database and you have a special touch plan on them.
100%.
Yeah. All right. So let's actually unpack this and get down to the actual marketing elements of this. So let's start with the actual seminar that you're hosting. a lot of the questions that we get asked, especially when someone, a real estate agent's looking to do some sort of seminar in their market, the question is, where should I actually do this? Should it be something on my website? Should I do this through Eventbrite? Like, where do I put this page up? Where do people sign up for this seminar? And you guys, this is actually your example one on Eventbrite. Tell us about why you use Eventbrite.
We've been using it for so long, I really don't know. So I'm actually not the marketing person in our company. I just come up there and the lead generator. But I think for a couple of reasons. One, we can capture their data. Number one. Number two, we can send them reminders automatically, right? So hey, tomorrow's a seminar, don't forget, and we can send them the map of the parking, how to get there, things that they're going to want to know. And it's just a simple system that works for us.
Awesome. And this one is sold out. So is there a certain amount of
Yeah.
seats that you make sure that
Yes.
it has, or it's just what the space capacity has?
Whatever the space. So we don't like to go beyond 30 or 35. What we found over time was there's diminishing returns after that. The reason why is if you're in a room of 100 people, you can feel like you can just walk out and not have to be known by anybody. But when you're in a group of smaller, you're engaging, you're talking, people around you are raising their hand, they're commenting. Therefore, you can't really hide. And that's why our conversion ratio is higher at 35 versus 85.
And is there a too small number? As in, if I get only 5, should I cancel the event? What
Yeah, what we do in those cases is we just call them and said, hey, we had to reschedule our seminar. Would you like to set up a private conversation so we can just talk about it for you? And we just turn those, if we cancel, then we turn those into appointments and their strategy sessions. Yeah.
Okay, great. And in terms of getting people to the actual seminar, so you mentioned that you obviously you have this page, they sign up on the page, and you've sent them an email, and continuous emails, and you do that by a question-based approach, which is, here's something you may be thinking about. Are you considering this? This may be the right seminar for you. Let's talk about two things. One, for the people in your database, how many, like what lead time do you need to actually start promoting this? How many emails should you be sending to get this out? In your opinion, is there anything that's like the right mix? And I know you say
Yeah,
you're not the marketer, but you came up with this brilliant
yeah,
idea. So you
we've been
are a
doing this.
marketer.
Yeah, we've been doing this so long. 4 to 6 weeks is what we go with. We Another thing we do is, so for 20 years ago, I don't know if you know this, but there was an ad, one page of the newspaper called the Experts page. And 6 months into becoming a licensed realtor, I invested in $24,000 into that newspaper page, $2,000 a month to write an article. So I became an author in a newspaper, right? And every week I got a small ad. Once a month, I got a large whole page that I could write commentary questions, get them engaged with me, and provide information as well to get them to come to the seminar. So those work as well. Our emails, believe it or not, our database is the most productive that we have. Right?
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So so the emails being the primary, you could do this on Eventbrite. You can also, and we have some of our clients are doing this on a funnel within their existing website. I'll show you an example of that. This is actually from another team. This is what they had done for theirs, and they got about 30, 40 people at their seminar. And one of the things that we actually did on this one, Dan, is we had them help to build trust to attend that event so that they could actually promote this page everywhere. So not only was it something that they were able to send out to their database to go here, but we actually promoted this on an event within Facebook, as well as just Facebook ads to get people there. And so this video is what, as a marketer, we would call it a VSL, a video sales letter. And what it is just introducing the story, which is what they kind of talk through. Like, here are things that we hear people considering all the time, using that question-based approach, which, Dan, is brilliant. It is the right way to emotionally connect with your audience. And so having them do a short video to explain what you're going to learn, and then all the information can be similar to what you've got on
Mm,
Eventbrite, but you can see here it's done in the
very cool.
form of a funnel page, same kind of thing, reserve your seat, really literally the same. It just gives you some more control if you want to use that option. And then again, you can promote it on Facebook, and this using, you can see it's using the question based approach. This is actually this is a carousel ad that was running. It's also as a part of an event on Facebook, which I would recommend doing, because it gives you additional exposure. But you can see that you're not only targeting seniors, but you're targeting their family members. So talk to me a little bit about that. Does your messaging change in your emails when you send it out, or any of your promotions when you're talking to family members? Because these are questions that they may be asking or thinking about for their parents. What percentage of the people who come to a seminar are actually family members or caregivers?
Close to half, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah. I mean, because one of the challenges that they're having is older adults just don't want to leave out of their home, but their kids notice, like, man, she keeps falling, she gets lost, she bangs a car. So the kids are concerned about mom, and mom's not concerned about her, but the kids are. And then the next question the kids happen to me is like, how do I take care of mom? Right? How much does that cost? What happens if she has to go to her care home? Right? What if she needs real care? How do I afford that? Right? She
Yeah.
doesn't have enough money. Right? So yeah, so those are the kind of approaches that we've had. We actually did a seminar called Caring for Mom. We changed the whole conversation. We flipped it so that every conversation was about an adult child caring for mom.
Yeah. Well, actually, interestingly enough, years ago, one of our biggest clients was a place for mom, which
Mhm.
they like specialized in actually helping you do this, and that was their business for doing this. Because honestly, there's really no, there's rarely people and less rarely companies that actually help you to do this. So
Yeah.
it's a really unique opportunity. It's really the only place people are going to find help. You'll notice that you will, unless they're a part of your community, Dan, you don't see agents really doing this
Yeah.
in a market. It's just super rare. And it's interesting that almost a third, it impacts almost a third of the people that are actually going to, you know, do a real estate transaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
NAR tells us that 58% of all listings are baby boomers and their parents last year. 58%.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Okay, so let's talk about the marketing message, for the emails when it is targeted to, obviously, your whole database. Only a portion of them are going to be baby boomers, or in this stage. How does that marketing message change when you are talking to family members, or adult children?
I think it's more of like in Hawaii, we take our slippers off before we go into a house. Put your feet